I would like to stop here and to open the discussion. I shall start with the ladies first. So I'm coming back to Viam. Viam, your presentation was a little bit longer. If you want to share some of the slides that you consider appropriate to come back to the idea of how much innovation is still there needed for having the future ports cleaner and much more efficient.
Can I share with you? I will
Please.
share the screen. Please. And I will let you see. Let me see how. One, I can give you a summary how we changed. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's, as I told you, it's how we developed, how we helped with the terminals by making it easier in the world of the containers, how to handle the containers with the way easier. But it was not for students was not important only by creating mini, as I told you, we created the long twin in order to make it faster, and also while we are working now in Stinis split head block, it's more because, as you know, I think it's the situation when you're having at the Black Sea, its terminals are getting more developed and more bigger and more crowded. So you have to do you have to be more faster to keep it going. And if you, as you started in the beginning, you would like to follow like the way how it's done in Rotterdam, to have the green color instead of red color like in Black Sea. It's just as in Rotterdam they did. They just, how do I say, we look at forward and how the most important, and just do it, and then we just like the Dutch people said, just keep working and just do it, and then because they look more to the future. And from our side of the company, how we did it, like I said, because we're not directly involved, but indirectly, like make it easier for the terminals, or for is like creating a type of spreaders that are easier, that like it's for the maintenance, it's easier. Like if it's something, a problem, you don't have to have more someone who has to do it. It's the terminal that's the monobeam. It's like you can see. For the maintenance, it makes it easier. It's more, you can buy it, but the most important for a spreader is how you maintenance. So we try to have like as not too much maintenance, like not every month or every 2 months. Like the maintenance is very important. Like you can start using it and it keeps alive, and you don't need to replace it very quick. It's a long life, so it's interesting for the terminals, like to invest in the beginning, but the investment, it keeps you alive for a long time with smart. And that we had many stuff makes it works easy, like the small details, like we have what we call an automatic greasing system. It's like how you put some grease in the spreader. You don't need to stop working and go and put the grease in. You have automatically, so it's planned. That's how you spare time in working and in stopping working, because you know in terminals with you have to be fast and you don't. So we with some small details of the spreader, we in totally we just avoid to stop working, to keep working, and to make it easier also for the workers and safe also for the workers. They can control everything from distance or from one. And everything is based on the spreader itself, so you don't have to use the cranes. And of course, what's the most important with Stinis, I mean, well, how they help the other. It's we ask the terminal, the customers, the terminals, they have to think what they want, and we make it, even if it's impossible. If we make everything, so it's not like it is standard and we just you have to accept what we do. No, because every terminal, every area has different way how to handle in the terminals, how to use the cranes, how to use the containers. So by hearing what the customers need, what we react on that. So it's just we exchange, and then we do it, update it, and then we keep doing some new investments and some new developments. So we're still there, because as I told you, Steen is the owner, is an inventor, and he's technical, very technical, and he's still now working on them, even if he's actually, this year was the how you say that, is the new generation is starting, but we're still working on new, how to update. So indirectly we hear what the terminals want, and then we have a feedback, and we think about it, and we work, and actually it's like 2 steps ahead before even we see how we can do it, before even we are asked, and then that's how.
Thank you very much, Bia. Very nice points. There is a question from the audience regarding the aspects of digitalization. So what kind of initiatives dedicated to digitalization, automation, involving a robotized type of equipment do you have in your company?
Yes, we do have it. Actually, I have my colleague who's the engineer, who's the biggest engineer, he can also help you with answering this question about if you have.
First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Bert de Bever. I'm the managing director of Stines Holland. I'm working for almost 26 years with the company. So I know where we came from, and I know where we're heading to. Automatization and digitalization, of course, is a major issue currently in the development of all the equipment. And where the technology is going forward, we always follow the new technology. So currently, it's already possible to see what's going on in your terminal from your desk by having this connection from the lifting equipment, in this case, the spreader. You can have it on your desk by connections that are either by fiber optics or by wireless connections, or whatever connection that you like. Techniques for connections are already long there, and we put them in our spreaders, and we give them a really good base to have this communication available for you. Of course, there are many lines to go to innovation and digitalization. For example, cameras on spreaders, which is also a technology that we already have in our scope. And basically, it's more what you need than what we can do. Technology is already there. So if you put the case on our desk, we can see together with you if we can find a solution for this. But be aware of the fact that both the technicalization and the digitalization is already an ongoing process where remote desktop operations are possible. And the remote desktop means that you have no crane driver available or necessarily available in your cabin, and that you can do it from a desktop. And it means a different kind of operation, which reduces the impact on the crane driver, where you have a more friendly environment to do your job. And we go step by step in this process, because what we do is we don't put any new inventions into the market before we know that's reliable. Nice new things, and you're a guinea pig to do so. This makes your life not more easy, because what you have to know is a durable system, reliable system, and things that keep your uptime going instead of your downtime going. Uptime is very important with all the digitalization that we have. We can also see the faults on the spreader. We can look into the logging of the faults, and we can also go from preventive maintenance to planned maintenance, where we can say, okay, we have smart systems on the spreaders, and they can by means of diagnostics, they can see what the status of the spreader is, and then say, okay, now is a good time to take the spreader to the workshop, and then to have it maintained. This is the way that we try to go with you to the next step and see what the possibilities are. And of course, we work with you for the solution. So if there is a special case, and we have already showed the leaflet where we have the special things for handling, for example, airplane parts or special goods. What we have already said is, don't ask me what we make what you ask. But this needs...
Yes, congratulations.
Combined,
it is history and a huge experience that you have in this sector, and you are one of the leaders of the sector. The final question, and maybe you can make it short. I've seen that you are like a professor, you are giving long answers.
Yeah.
Try to make it as a businessman. So you know that there are different initiatives on full automatic terminals, like container terminals, unmanned container terminals. And some of them are also in the Netherlands, but also in the States, in Southeast Asia, and so on. So what is your personal opinion regarding, let's say, the future of these kind of unmanned port facilities? Do you think that this will come as a, let's say, big wave in the next future, or you consider that this is something for the 10, 20 years strategies? How do you see in your own company?
Yeah, I definitely see this for a long-term solution, because there are huge investments currently on existing cranes and existing equipment. You don't take easily the existing equipment away and having it replaced by fully automated and fully digitalized possibilities. So I definitely see it as a step-by-step, and as you can see in Holland, it's only done on the new terminals instead of the existing terminals.
Thank you very much, and thank you for making very short, concise, and straightforward. So thank you very much. So we'll go further because we have some other questions. In the audience, and once again, I would like to draw your attention, there are more than 90 people listening us, and this is a very nice audience for such an event. So we have a question to Mr. Toader, on behalf of Convex. So the question is, please confirm the largest grain vessels that have been handled and will be handled at the new terminal that you announced on cereals.
Yes, I saw the question, already saw the question. What we loaded, the largest vessel was an 80K deadweight tons. And we have to mention that the grain terminal, it's the concept of let's say public terminals, meaning that it's not dedicated to one trader of the grain. It's open for everybody, and it is designed to load baby cape vessels, meaning in the range of 110,000 deadweight. The limitation is not related to our facility, it's related to unloading facility around Europe or the world.
Yes, thank you very much. And also you mentioned about your interest for integrating also processing type of activities in the terminal. Is this an activity which is going to be developed, or you consider this that it reached the purpose because it was dedicated to the fact that sometimes you have a mixing, let's say, process of different ores, and you develop that processing activity in order to have, let's say, the separation of the different ores. So this facility that you mentioned, that you already have in Convex, is something which will be singular, you are closing this issue, or you want to extend the processing part?
Related to this mixture of dry bulk cargos, yes, the facility is quite new, 1 year old. It's operating already, and the products are obtained through a lot of operations, starting with size operation, then after with flotation, density separation, and the results are generically split in iron ores, coals, bauxites, and of course it's not 100% as original cargo, but can be used in the industry in proportion, let's say 5–10% can be used.
I know about the project. We are collaborating with Convex, and we've been also involved in this connection with your team there. But there is also another question to you, because specifically for the activities of bulk terminals, the question is if you have some IT systems or digital platforms for activities related to planning and managing.
Yes, I know. I saw the question from Mr. Humar. We were in contact with Mr. Humar, that it's called Terminal Operated System, and we'll start it and we'll continue to implement this IT system, and will be connected on the end with the port community system.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So now I shall come back to Erhan Bey, Mr. Chiloglu from the Yildirim group, from the Yilport. There is a question from the audience regarding the area of Bulgarian ports. So how you see the Bulgarian coastal ports for the future extension of the, let's say, businesses? Are you, as the Yilport or Yildirim group, planning something for Bulgarian ports? Do you see some competitive advantages for these ports? What is your opinion?
Professor, thank you. I think when it comes to investing in any country in Black Sea, we have to go and search for it. But when it comes to the relations and connectivity of the ports, I think we have much to do with Yilport terminals in Marmara Sea to the Bulgarian ports. We haven't have a strong communication so far, to be honest, to just enlarge the connectivity of our ports and Bulgarian ports. Bulgaria is very close to us, to be honest. On the land side, it's just on the border side. We do visit the ports there 2 times in the last 5 years period. So I think there is a potential in the Bulgarian ports, and we need to support Bulgarian ports, and they need to support the Marmara Sea ports on the connectivity. I see a potential of having more connections between our ports, mainly on the logistic wise, on the short sea and in the inland side. Professor,
yeah,
I would like to give.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to give two idea on the automation and the digitalization as Yilport. One of our port in Turkey is the liquid terminal. Solventaş is the largest liquid terminal with 330,000 cubic meter of a storage tank capacity. And that terminal is fully automated with more than 10,000 sensors in the terminal. When the vessel comes, we just put the pipes to the connectors, and everything happens in the system with the control room. When it comes to this type of specific operations, I think automation is a very good solution. But when it comes to container terminals, we do prefer to use the best automation part. Let's say we have the gate systems are fully automated. We do have the yard cranes, remote control and such. But when it comes to this, the no man terminals, that there is no man in the terminal, that is actually going to a more transshipment hubs concept where the liners have their sustainable business there and the cargo is coming in and out. When it comes to an import, export, gateway cargo, everything is changing on the system because you need to handle more the container inside the terminal. So I think the answer of the question is the world is going to automation and digitalization for sure. But we should understand how much of that we needed in our process and the best ones that we should implement. I think the answer from our side is this way.
Yes, for sure. Every time we have to find the golden way, the way of trade-off between different type of constraints. But on the other side, you have seen that there are these movements towards unmanned vessels, towards, let's say, unmanned terminals. Very soon we shall arrive to an unmanned world and we shall go to Mars or different other planets to learn them logistics, as you know very, very well. So I would like to come back to Cihan Bey, to Mr. Oskal, because you mentioned about the developments that you are planning for Zonguldak and also for Chorlu, probably in the neighborhood, as port facilities on the Black Sea. Do you consider that such developments will be also connected to the future One Belt, One Road that is coming like a tsunami over our region? Do you see also some possible other connectivities in the future, let's say, economical development strategies of Turkey?
Mm-hmm. Yes. In my first speech, I did not talk about the new canal planning by the government, but you know, it is at the starting stage, and they are checking the environmentally and geographically, and there are some issues about this, also the politically, because it's a huge budget and it's a long term, and we will see what will happen. But there are two sides of the story for the new channel in the Bosphorus, because you know, when you make this connection, there are some political issues, there are some environmental issues. You divide this area to the two different zones because you made a channel between, and the population movements. And you know, there are agricultural areas in this region, which is very important for the Turkey. These are the main topics, and we will see, because there are discussions are going on in every way. This is we will see the futures, what will brings. But of course, these are the huge infrastructures which needs a budget and also political sense, and everybody should, or at least the most of the sides of Turkey should agree on it, then it can be done. And yes, very important, as I told you in my first speech, that Turkey is the middle of the West and East, and the bridge, and you know, the Silk Road is coming from right now. Maybe you know that from China, a train is coming to the Izmit, and it's going on, and we see the, you know, the planning transit times was 14 and 17 days, but we see that still some kind of issues. There could be a delays because of these huge roads. Some locations there are some interruptions. Of course, on the other side of this story, the capacity of this block train is about 42 containers. Is a very small drop in the lake. So, but of course, it's something that it's showing that there could be some kind of train or channel by railway. It can be come from China to Turkey. And we have some trials to take these containers and pass through the Bosphorus. You know, we have got a tunnel under the Bosphorus, and it goes to Halkalı customs, then goes to Austria. So these are the new things in 22. But we will see this kind of news more often because China is pushing and trying to approach to Greece and Turkey. Maybe I'm not sure what's going on, what they are doing in Romania and Bulgaria, but they are trying to invest these regions to enter the market by using our sources and the Greece. Actually, if you think about the investment is the investment, we need the money and we need an investment, so welcome. But, you know, these ports are, when you think about in deeply the strategic conditions, and it is everything. So the government should think about it, how it should be realized. Because they want to purchase all of it. We will share it or we will leave it. These are the decisions should be taken by the governments.
Yes, for Turkey, it is the beginning of a new era. So Turkey connected to this One Belt, One Road initiative and to the other developments with the Middle East, probably will come a very important node globally. And my feeling is, or perception is Turkey ready for taking this challenge?
Yes.
So seeing some experts like you and like Mr. Erkan Çiloglu, I am confident that there is a pool of competence and expertise in the sector. Of course, there will be an exponential need of people like you in order to put in value these opportunities. On the other side, we at the Black Sea, we should not forget that the Black Sea is the most polluted sea. So whatever we are doing, we have to think for reducing the environmental impact, for improving the quality of life in the ports of the Black Sea. And in this perspective, aspects related to renewables, because it was also a question from the audience regarding the integration of renewable energy. Yes, we at the Constanța port, we are considering the possibility of integrating wind energy. There are already the posts for wind turbines on the water breaks that are boarding the Constanța port. We are also thinking to offshore wind parks and so on. But of course, this depends mostly on the business that is going to be developed. Because if you have a sustainable business, then you have money and you can think how to improve it. If you don't have flows of cargoes via these ports, then you can have excellent ideas, but no means to do that. So we arrived to the end of the allocated time. I don't know if our hosts from transport event, they still want us to offer some more time, or we have to stop here. Is somebody from the organizers?
I'm here.
So, Ajay, what do you say? We have to stop here, or would you like us to continue for 10 or 15 minutes?
I think we have come to the end, and I believe that most of the questions has been answered, and also there's really good discussion just now during the Q&A. So I think we have come to the end of our webinar. So I would like to deliver the closing remarks. First and foremost, thank you very much to our moderator, Professor Dr. Eden Mahmood, for moderating today's webinar. Once again, we would like to thank Stinis for sponsoring this webinar. William, thank you very much indeed to you and your team for your valued support.
You're welcome.
I would like to take this opportunity to also thank our panelists for their time and in preparing their insightful presentations. The presentations given today and a recording of this webinar will be available to all registered attendees tomorrow at www.transportevents.com. Thank you to all our viewers for your attendance. We trust this webinar has been both valuable and informative and helps you develop new business from what you have learned here today. Please may I ask everyone to follow Transport Events on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and to visit our website www.transportevents.com for latest information on our market-leading annual events and webinars. Please email me if you would like your company's latest full-color corporate logo and company details branded exclusively before, during, and after one of our future weekly webinars. Please contact me at ajay@transportevents.com, spelled AJAY @transportevents.com. Looking ahead to next week, please register for Transport Events' next weekly webinar focusing on challenges and future opportunities for ports and shipping in ASEAN on Thursday, 24th September, sponsored by market leader Dextra. Thank you and looking forward to meeting everyone again next week.